My name is James Williams Jr. This is Coming for Heaven number 2. Get ready to hit the bed, so I'm only going to make this one video because I have plans tomorrow and they must be followed to the letter so that I can get up and handle this job fair thing, even though I couldn't register because I've been on the computer like 20 minutes trying to get one thing and it didn't happen, so I had to explain that at the door, I guess. Maybe wave some dog tags around. So I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube about people hating Mass Effect and martial arts. So this is a martial art video, and I have videos to post, and they might not get posted until tomorrow. So whenever you see this, it was Tuesday when I filmed it. So I might just like not post them until tomorrow when I get done with whatever I have to do. Anyway, so as I said, I've been watching all these videos, and now there are people who are trying to say that Frank's Dukes was a phony. They're trying to say that everybody that like I idolized or heroes basically are phonies because some of them allegedly haven't fought in real fights, and they're trying to say the Kumite wasn't real, etc., etc. Alright, first and foremost, as a martial artist, I gotta file a complaint. I would like to declare shenanigans on these people who have probably never studied martial arts, who don't know what martial arts is, and FYI, apparently Bruce Lee never fought in a tournament either, outside of what he was done with Wak Jackman, excuse me. Now, by the way, Birth for Dragon was a good movie. Now, let me explain you people a lot of things, especially if you don't know the martial arts. It's probably not a good idea to randomize pick martial artists that have fought in like tit for tat versus MMA to compare the two. Let me explain this to you. In America, and only mostly in America, we have rules of engagement when it comes to these martial art tournaments and all these things. You know, most of the time, a lot of the things are just basically for show. You know, so when you see them doing wushu and a sword spin in their chest and all this other stuff, most of it is for show. But it is based on an ancient technique of hardening the body. This shit's real. And you know, if you don't believe in martial arts or you don't know martial arts, I recommend that hopefully you won't get your ass kicked, but why don't you go and challenge a martial artist? Alright? Now, so did we get this 1,000% straight? You know, you have two choices in this concept of martial arts. If you don't think people are up to par on their skills, whatever, you can, one, believe the hype and keep your teeth, or you can, two, first, you better go learn how to fight on some capacity before you take your ass somewhere and wind up being found somewhere laying in chalk because somebody beat your ass because you sit there and say, oh, you ain't shit, you don't know shit, and they kicked your goddamn throat out. Now, as a martial artist, I have fought in the streets. When I lived in the projects, I fought in the streets. When I was 6 years old, I fought in the streets. So you don't have to believe me, and I don't give a shit. Now, I'm not going to be Kimbo Slice. I'm not going to come to your house to prove to you that I have skills. There's enough videos here on YouTube to do that for me. I don't have to prove it to me. I shouldn't have to prove it to you. Most of the action stars that have made it in the martial art movie business have some real martial art background behind them. And if you don't want to believe that, hey, nobody's forcing you to buy a ticket to their films. Simple as that. Live and let live. However, because I've been watching these videos and they've been downing people to be phonies and all this other stuff, and they're trying to say that Bloodsport wasn't based on real events and stuff like that. Well, here's the thing. And this is why I'm mad as hell. This is why I went live earlier today on Facebook. Alright, because a lot of people have always said to me, yeah, you ain't shit, James. You don't know shit. You can't ever be in the UFC. Okay, again, I'm 5'3". I'm barely 125 pounds. And due to this hip replacement, no doctor on earth will ever clear me to ever do a martial art unless I get lucky and just go against the doctor and just say, fuck it. Which I'm really tempted to do because I'm not living, I'm not happy. Because, okay, Mass Effect helps me be tame, but it's not my thing. I miss working bow staves. I miss working nunchucks and chains and jumping and swinging and having some kind of damn regiment that I used to do damn near every day. Martial arts is not a skill set. Martial arts is life. It is a way of life. And only true martial artists will tell you that. These guys in MMA, they're making big bank. Now let me explain why my black ass isn't in MMA. It's not because I don't want to be in MMA. It's because now that I'm 44, there's no way in hell with the hip replacement that I'm going to ever be able to walk in those doors outside of anything other than you need a job as a trainer. We can give you that, and they probably won't even consider me because I'm nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm absolutely positively nobody. And if I walked in that door and I punched 10 people and knocked them out halfway through the damn thing, they may consider giving me a job. But it's highly unlikely that Dana White's going to bend over backwards and say, hey, we got this guy from Virginia who claims he's a badass, and we're going to let him have a job here. I want you guys to fuck him up. Which is probably how that would play out. Then I'd have to damn near kill somebody just to make sure that my hip doesn't get fucked up, because the Army's not going to replace this hip a second time. Now, when MMA started, the real MMA, not the Dana White stuff, back when I was in high school, when shoot fighting started, it started off in one of the Asian countries. I don't have specifics. Now, over there, when it was full contact, like these kumites that y'all claim Frank Dukes weren't in, here's the thing. There was no weight class. There was a little Chinese girl. Let me be politically correct. I think I just offended Chinese people. There was a little Asian woman, about 5'2". There's a little Asian man, about 5'3", 5'5". He's somewhere in my height. They won, undisputedly, a bunch of fucking fights. And they were fighting for money to survive. It wasn't no damn event. Well, somebody over there, depending on who you ask, video recorded this shit. So there's probably banned now in America, but there was some shoot fighting videos that came out. And in some of them cases, they fought basically to almost to death. And even one of the giant wrestlers, like they look like the Kamala or something, he was in there. So this shit does really exist. Now, all styles were welcomed. Not exactly the Kumite, but it's shoot fighting. It came up after the Kumite. Because no one ever really knows what a Kumite is actually held at unless you're actually in it. Or you know someone who's pulled some strings to get your ass there and in it. Now, I have never been to a Kumite. I would love to go. In my 20s, I would love to have competed. In my teens, I would love to have competed. Because I did most of my fightings in my teenage years and in my childhood. But most of that was because I'm small and people who are bigger than me decided we're going to fuck you up. They found out completely differently that David and Goliath syndrome usually works out for David, not Goliath. And I've always been David. Moving on. Before Dana White and UFC and MMA got its legal sanctions and shit in America, shoot fighting was the way to go. I've read about these things, I've seen these videos, and I said, damn, I could do that. There's just one little teeny tiny problem. I didn't have a passport, and I didn't have money to leave the country to prove that I actually can fight a little bit. Or to leave the country and prove that I can attempt to fight and get my ass kicked, which was generally my plan, is to see how good I actually am. Because I'm going to put it to you in layman's terms. A motherfucker who don't know martial arts versus a motherfucker that does know martial arts is more than likely the toughest guy is going to win. It matters not if the guy knows martial arts or not. You know, if you can adapt and you can take a beating, you can win a fight. Because all you got to do is outlast this motherfucker from getting winded and pray he doesn't break every bone in your body in the meantime. Now, for all you non-martial artists out there, I just watched a video about some dude who's doomed to be a fraud because of something about pressure points. Okay, well, first and foremost, pressure points do exist. Secondly, only some of us know how to manipulate them to cause you excruciating pain. I happen to be one of those people who are blessed to know which ones cause the most pain, because I've tested them on myself so that I can resist them when someone else uses them on me. Now, it is officially Wednesday because it is now midnight. Now, I'm going to put this to you the best way I can. Sometimes the best fighter doesn't always win the fight. Sometimes people just get lucky. It can happen. You can get put to sleep and It could be by somebody who's never had a fight a day in their life, but they just might have retarded strength. Or they could get really lucky because one good hit, and it's GTS time for your ass. Now, you watch wrestling, and everyone who knows this, I watch wrestling. Wrestlers do wrestling. Wrestling is 75% entertainment. The moves are 100% real, which is why they have disclaimers that says, please don't try this at home. Now, behind the scenes, some rivalries are real, some of them aren't, so I'm not going to say that wrestling is fake. The moves are definitely real. Just ask the people who've accidentally killed people mimicking things that they see on TV. So please don't try that shit at home. I would say the same to that of people who do kung fu or martial arts if you don't have an instructor. However, I would not say the same because everyone knows martial arts. You come to people like me to guide you through the door. The path you take after you learn how to punch and kick is up to you. But knowing how to punch and kick simply just means you know how to punch and kick. It doesn't mean you know martial arts. It just means, okay, I know how to fucking high kick. I can low kick. I can side kick. Yeah, you can do all that. But a martial artist knows where to hit the target. Now, if you don't want to take my word for it, you want to go to a dojo. Here's my advice. Please, white men, do not get offended. You want to go to a dojo with an Asian sensei, or sifu, or shidoshi. You do not want to go to a dojo with a gaijin instructor. Now, granted, gaijins make great instructors. However, if you want to learn a martial art, it is best given to you by an Asian person who is willing to teach a person of non-Asian ethnicity, which is not as rare as it was back when Bruce Lee was doing it. Now it's probably more common. But because they are more closer to the ground on that, that's where you want to go. Now, I'm not saying you can't learn from a white man. My sensei, Master Jim Ennis, was a white man, but he was raised in Japan, so that's probably as close as you can get for a white sensei to teach you martial arts. But my first sensei was a black man. I cannot remember his face or his name, but I was 7 years old, and from 7 to 10, he taught me how to punch and kick. I had to learn everything else between 10 and 15. Now, I'll tell you, I never thought I was good. Not a goddamn day in my life did I ever think I was good. Until I had to use them. Now, one week in the 8th grade. Now, when I was a kid, before the 8th grade, yeah, I got to fighting a little bit. There was no real karate really involved until I got in the 8th grade. And one week was just a bad fucking week. I fought 4 people in 4 days in 1 week when I lived in the projects. I won each fight. I stopped having non-confidence against my skills after that. But for that, I didn't think I was good. I just knew that I was going to get my ass beat. And when I didn't, it shocked me. Totally shocked me. So the more you learn, the more you know that your body will protect itself. Also depends on your teachers. You have a good teacher. You don't have to be in their class long. You have to be in their class long enough to understand yourself. Once you understand yourself, their job is done. Because like the Last Dragon song says, I can't teach you anymore. I can teach you enough that when you walk out my door, you ain't got to come back. Unless you don't practice. Practice is everything. Ghostman technique, something I used to do all the time. Boom, 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 the other guy. You always got to watch out for that other guy. There's always a guy behind you. There's always a guy behind you. And a lot of teachers don't teach that. They teach this. A system of punches, a system of blocks. Ice cream scoop. Which, for the most part, good exercise. Push-ups. No. So all these videos about these guys that they're deeming as fake martial artists or whatever, my question to you is, are you going to be brave enough to go and fight them? No, because the only way you can prove that these persons are fake, because they're saying the same shit about Seagal and Van Damme, and Van Damme and Seagal were both champions in tournament fighting. However, the greatest master of martial arts, Bruce Lee, didn't fight in a single tournament. He showed off a lot, broke bricks, made some movies, didn't get famous until he died, which seems to be the path that I'm on as well. But the simple matter is, the one true truth about martial arts is that everyone knows it. Not everyone knows how to use it. So I want you to think about that while you're calling all of us phonies. Phonies. I got people in my family, and I'll make a video about that after this. So let me close out. If you think someone doesn't know martial arts and you think you're a badass, then my advice to you is first go learn something about the martial arts before you go and get your ass beat. I'm James Williams Sr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Uh-oh. Be seeing you.